broadcast of the matches, they have all been completed. And it is I, Woofin, with Smackamoose here for this match.
How you going, guys? Unfortunately, just the one game this week, as you said, but it hopefully will be a good one here between DarkSided and MingusMinions, and we'll see how it goes. Two teams that performed pretty well last split. We'll see if they can carry that on moving forward this split as well. As we can see, we don't have any picks and bans for you, but we've got Double Warrior on both sides, so not much has changed since Split 2. OPL teams choosing to go with this Double Warrior pressure and just hold down that W key as much as they can.
Yeah, and looking at these Double Warriors, which do you think are going to be the more effective pair?
It's hard to say. I actually really like the Sun Wukong Raven pairing, but then you can never count out a Bologna and Osiris, right? They're just so scary to deal with, especially heading into that mid to late game and all the way through the early game as well. So fairly balanced. I think it's going to come down to the CC on the side of Yada and the safety of the Toth versus, I mean, Sol's pretty safe with that Disapparate, but she takes a little while to get into that, and it could cost them a little bit, and she doesn't really have that constant CC presence that a Toth does.
Yeah, so looking at the jungle starts here, Invisionize and Shred starting off in the mid lane, whilst the jungler Liquid Renegade for DarkSided are actually choosing to start in the solo lane, so they do invade that speed, that blue buff. But as a result, Shred and Invisionize are going to pick up this speed buff.
Yeah, so they trade out buffs for now, but the invade coming from Liquid Renegade and Shank here will counter that out. They won't get the blue buff, but they'll be able to take the speed buff. So a little bit of an XP and experience, experience and gold lead will go the side of MingusMinions just for now. Not a whole lot, but just that one buff really.
Yeah, okay, looking over at the duo lane, it seems to be that Mingyu and Toriskies are having the pressure so far with the Geb and Anhur pick up here going for these Oracle Harpies, which is usually what you tend to do when you get the lane pressure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here. Mingyu on this Anhur with the recent buffs that he's received. Going to be able to be very aggressive against Agony in lane, and Agony, I know him more as a mid laner rather than a hunter personally, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously, DarkSided feel comfortable slotting him in there for now, so we'll see if he can match up against Mingyu. Almost undeniably, really, the strongest ADC player in OCE. I mean, Limits is right up there as well. There's a lot of strong ADC players, but Mingyu really showing how strong he is as of late.
Yeah, Toriski's actually taking a lot of poke here in the lane here, but unfortunately Agony just misses the stun, and now Mingyu using that leap offensively, trying to see if he can pick any sort of target here, but not really able to find anything, but just, that impale attempt there unfortunately missing for him.
Yeah, just off the mark, and we can already see the impact of the buffing of Devara's gauntlets. Both hunters deciding to go into this tier 2 of that item and immediately get that online, so you can already see the change in the meta just from this recent patch. The Corrupted Arena is Invisionize picks up first blood on Yada here in the mid lane, managing to pick up that generally pretty safe Toth and got his beads as well.
Yeah, we were just too focused on that duo lane, forgetting to look over in the mid lane, and Sol and Raven have extremely powerful kill potential there, just so much damage coming out, and obviously picking up first blood is going to be excellent for MingusMinions here.
Yeah, early pressure, definitely the side of MingusMinions, and as you said, Raven just managed to lock him down. They both hit level 6 now, so I think that just that little bit of experience and boost that they had from invading on that speed and blue buff got them to level 5 first, and they managed to pick up Yada as a result, unable to get away, or didn't even have his ult up to return some damage himself. So really got a good job from MingusMinions using this early lead to their advantage.
Yeah, it just shows that even a slight increase in efficiency of farming can lead to exponential growth with that first blood. So excellent job just seeing MingusMinions starting this strong for them, but no doubts that DarkSided will pull something back as well.
You see the difference in build levels now. Raven now is level 6, has Warrior Tabby online, whereas Bologna only has the tier 2 boots, so unable to get that early power spike on her first back. So at the moment, Raven showing a bit more of a jungle presence, able to get ahead is Invisionize, and that can be the difference between a game, especially when you have warriors up against each other in the jungle. If one warrior has the pressure, the other one's going to find it really hard to keep their farm up and to keep being a presence moving forward.
Yeah, just looking here, we see Envisionize and KO picking up that blue buff, which was invaded at the start of the game, but they have no problems trying to take that. Now, we actually saw this guy's looking to see if he could have tried to attempt to steal that blue buff, but being a Geb, he doesn't really have too much potential in that regard.
Unfortunately, he misses out on any experience while his team picked up their own speed buff, so he finds himself a level down now on the Beast on this Ganesh. So maybe just a little bit greedy, now hits level 6, but being that just a little bit further behind in support as a Geb, it's going to be a little bit rough as they look to steal away these mid-camps, and the Beast gets engaged on immediately.
Huge ultimate coming out from Shred, and now the Ganesh ultimate's planted down in hopes of trying to protect himself, but unfortunately the Beast falls down to Envisionize. Envisionize showing his strength as a jungler here, doing excellent work on that Ravan. And now we see Liquid Renegade actually dashing in here. Is he going to get counter poked here? No, not really. He's going to get away, but that was excellent job coming out of Envisionize and Shred with the Soul Ultimate.
Yeah, they burn the 3 ultimates. Tory Skies actually used his Cataclysm to make sure that the Beast would fall down in the end. So 3 ultimates for 1. I'd like to see DarkSided, while they're a little bit behind, 2k at the moment. These ultimates off the board, a lot of the pick potential of Mingyu's Minions. Sorry, it's getting confusing having Mingyu and Mingyu's Minions going at once, but now that that's off the table, they should look to engage here and maybe get a pick and start to swing this golden experience lead back to their favor.
Yeah, looking at the ward coverage on this map, a lot of focus has been placed on this right side, making sure these solo lanes are not going to get ganked by the enemy jungler without the other team knowing. So I'm really looking to see some pressure over in the solo lane, but speaking of in the duo lane, but speaking of pressure, you know, just the slap fight coming out from Shank and KO is just showing what warriors tend to do. They're so tanky, but actually in the mid lane, we see a Ganesh ultimate thrown out by the Beast, and now Envisionize is getting quite low along with Liquid Renegade, but Envisionize is the one in danger, but luckily he has a Geb to shield him up and protect his team. But now the ultimate coming out from Shred actually knocks up the Beast during his dash, which picks up the kill for Tory Skies, no longer behind on this support.
Yeah, unfortunately, DarkSided do look to engage, but all the ultimates on the side of Mingyu's Minions had come back up on this at this point, so just a little bit off on the timing, engaging whilst the counter engage was still there for Mingyu's Minions. So just a little bit slow on that engagement, and they pay the price as a result. The Beast takes another trip back to Fountain, now 0 and 2, and I talked about how rough it can be when a support falls behind. Now that the Geb's ahead, Ganesh might struggle a little bit to keep his team in this.
Yeah, and a head Geb is a scary Geb, no doubt, because it just means he can keep his team safer and safer, making sure they don't fall because he is ahead. As we see Shank, along with the Beast and Yada, trying to contest these fire minions. I didn't actually quite catch who managed to secure those.
Looks like I think it was 1-1. I think the big minion fell to Mingyu's Minions there.
Alright. And speed is secured over here for Envisionize, looking over in this solo lane, but doesn't really see any potential. So instead, we're going to look over into the duo lane as Tory Skies pop sprint to try and pick up Agony. But Agony didn't take too much damage there from the Geb, despite being at an extremely close range, so it did the maximum get damage. Unfortunately, not able to pick up a kill there is Tory Skies, and this is just going to disapparate over here in the duo lane.
Meanwhile, Shank's getting dove in the solo lane. He gets picked up by Envisionize here, managing to get some good pressure back on the other side of the map, even though the failed gank coming out of Tory Skies there was really good pre-beads from Agony to make sure he didn't get knocked up or stunned by that Cataclysm, so managed to save himself. And but Mingyu's Minions managed to pick up as tier 1 here in the solo lane, as well as a kill onto Shank, and now 2-level lead for KO, and S3 Wkong is looking scary.
Yeah, just looking over at that solo, and never mind as we see the Beast actually trying to throw out a silence onto Shred. Shred looking like he's getting shredded here, but luckily has the disapparate to fly right off away, but instead now we see Yada picking up Shred with the snipe.
Yeah, beautiful final judgment from Yada there. Max range, manages to pick him up as Mingyu gets aggressed on here by Agony. The Geb shield should be enough to save him. They'll turn now.
huge damage coming out from Tory Skies, just showing how much damage that 2 from the Geb can do. Unfortunately, it was pre-beats, as you mentioned earlier, but this time, not the case, as now we see Yada in quite a bit of danger, along with KO, but Shell is popped now. Liquid Renegade throwing out his ultimate as well to try and pick up one of these kills. Shank does manage to get that one auto attack to pick off the kill with KO. Looking at the scoreboard, it is now 2-5, 5 on the side of Mingyu and MingusMinions, sorry, and 2 to the side of DarkSided.
Yeah, if we have a look at the graphs now, that things are starting to calm down a little bit. It's now a 3,000 experience lead for MingusMinions as well as a 2,000 gold experience. So despite those fights kind of going backwards and forwards, as we see the gold fury start up immediately here by MingusMinions. Might be able to sneak this away. Yada's the only one there that can contest.
He does not have his ultimate, so he can't throw out that final judgment to try and steal it. Excellent call there from MingusMinions, really deciding to burst down that Gold Fury, noticing they had a short amount of time, but enough to pick up that Gold Fury as Portal Demon is spawning as well. So another objective on the map right and ready, as we see Mingyu just throwing huge damage with that reduced cooldown ultimate and picking up the kill onto Agony. Excellent play over there by the ADCs.
Yeah, and that's the aggression that I was looking for from Mingyu, and I expect it to continue throughout the game. Not let Agony get into a comfort zone with this Hu Yi and really look to stamp his authority, as he's almost got that Executioner online now as well. And stacked with Anher's passive, that's just going to be doing so much damage, and the 1v1 potential, the solo potential of an Anher now is just crazy.
Yeah, and you mentioned at the start of this game the builds with the Devourer's Gauntlets being buffed, but it's also interesting to see what this has on effect in regards to the boot pickup, as we see Ninja Tabby actually picked off by both just to make sure they have that early game attack speed.
Yeah, it also gives you a little bit of mana as well, so the added power from stacking up these Dev's Gauntlets makes it a little bit more viable to go into this early attack speed and straight into an Executioner. That item also receiving a little bit of a buff in the recent patch, so I expect Executioner, I expect Deathbringers, I expect crit builds to kind of come into favor if we get to that point. If MingusMinions don't look to end this before that, if they can keep snowballing this lead in their favor.
Yeah, we just saw there a huge Portal Demon dance, just trying to see if one team can wrestle control, but unfortunately for both teams, neither of them could find that opportunity like they did with the Gold Fury earlier. But the Beast actually taking quite a bit of poke, along with Tory Skies as well. The ultimate thrown out from Ganesh, those Pillars of Judgment, trying to slow Tory Skies, but the sprint pickup there allowing him to immune that slow.
Yeah, the Dharmic Pillars they're used, but able to get away is Tory Skies, and they'll look to pick up the Oracles now as Agony and Liquid Renegade and Yada all kind of split that between them as Beast goes to make sure that the mid lane doesn't get pushed in too far. But
yep,
just a little bit off on these ganks so far of DarkSided. Maybe just a little bit of synergy, a little bit of comms, just slightly off point and unable to get the target prioritization quite right now.
Speaking of communication, it looks like the calls here for MingusMinion is to start this Portal Demon. Are they just going to try and bait it as Beast takes a lot of damage? Is KO going to land the ultimate to pick up that kill? Shell is thrown out, and luckily he can dash away, but he leaves Shank in a little bit of danger, but he looks like to be fine as Liquid Renegade actually engaging onto KO now. But KO being that Sun Wukong is safe and sound. Portal Demon has fallen to the side of MingusMinions, and that's going to help them get right back to that Fire Giant pit.
Yeah, not only do they pick up the Portal Demon there, they also get both shells on the side of DarkSided popped as well as the Heavenly, so I'm looking for MingusMinions to really press this fight, and they're already grouped up looking to siege this tier 1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, this tier 1 in the mid lane is always a strong objective to pick up. It allows you so much more pressure in regards to rotating around the map, as we see Agony just taking so much damage as Envisionized now instead is forced to ult away from that fight. Ganesh unfortunately not landing those Dharmic Pillars, as we see Liquid Renegade taking so much damage. He just jumps in there, but Mingyu's like, nope, I'm just going to pew 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 you right down.
Yeah, beautiful aggression there, controlled aggression out of Mingyu. Knowing what he could get away with there, jumps over the wall, no one there to really punish him from the side of DarkSided, and managed to pick up Liquid Renegade while Liquid's trying to fight through the backline of MingusMinions there. So really good work from the Hunter yet again. He's now 3 levels up, top level in the game, and Mingyu looking real scary already in this split.
Yeah, Mingyu, as you said before, arguably the best ADC in the scene, and he is showing it on this Anher, a highest level in the game, 3-0 and 0. And it's very interesting to see this build as we actually see what looks to be a shuriken getting picked up after the execution, as we see a short pause here by Yada.
Yeah, it gives us an opportunity to have a look at those builds, as you said. Looks like probably going into a Wind Demon, I would say, with this shuriken. Just gives you that added movement speed on the crit procs. Then maybe, not sure if it'll be Rage or Deathbringer, but that Deathbringer, the cheapness of that item now, I think it's 3,200 gold in total, just makes it such a more viable option in the crit tree, where we used to see kind of just the Rage and then Deathbringer as a luxury. Deathbringer is now a little bit more viable in the as an earlier purchase, so we'll see if he goes straight into that and looks to hit these really big crits with that 40% increase.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing the Wind Demon picked up over the Rage, as Rage has generally been that more popular crit item, so looking forward to see if Agony actually decides to go the same route as well, or if it's just more of a personal preference for Mingyu.
I like that Liquid Renegade's got into an early height of the Minion line, though. That should help counteract a little bit of the crit. Although the lifesteal, I guess, on Devourer's Gauntlets will kind of negate the damage being reflected. Height of the Minion line's kind of in that weird spot now when lifesteal's being built. While it is great against crit, when the lifesteal's there, it's not really doing a whole lot for countering ADC damage, I guess.
No, not particularly, as we see this Gold Fury almost spawning, and both teams are hanging around here to see if they can pick up this objective. What do you think DarkSided have to do to try and really start to get back into this game?
Well, Agony needs to not be pushed up this lane without wards. He's in a lot of trouble here. Gets the beats pop, sprint. His team's here to bail him out. He gets away with a slither of health.
Words.
Words
are hard.
Really good peel out of the Beast and Yada. They managed to save their Hunter, but Agony needs to be a lot more careful because that can lead easily to that Gold Fury falling to the side of MingusMinions again.
And I think you've really touched on something there, because looking at the difference between the ADCs, level 12 to level 15 is a huge difference, and just the amount of pressure that Mingyu is allowing his team, especially with the kill potential from that ultimate, as we see it has a reduced cooldown, is just really so threatening on the side of MingusMinions.
Yeah, as you say, it's very good at securing objectives. It's really good at picking up kills. It's on such a short cooldown that you can just kind of throw it out for CC immunity if you need it. With your beads and Aegis up, you're so safe and able to be so aggressive on the Anher as they look to pick up this Gold Fury right now. And they do manage to secure it.
The Soul Ultimate just securing that from the Dharmic Pillars there. An excellent reactionary ultimate coming out from Shred, allowing his team to pick up that Gold Fury.
They immediately rotate over to this solo side jungle. I thought they might go for an aggressive Fire Giant call here, but just picking up back camps for now. They don't have the ward coverage, so I like this kind of safer call. Back, spend some of that gold, and really look to push the fight once they have those items online and use that item advantage they have. Interestingly enough, the Beast is actually a level ahead of Torii Skies, so a really efficient farming so far from the Beast, despite him falling a couple times early. So, really good job from the Beast, showing his versatility as Shank gets aggressed on here by KO and Envision as.
Yeah, Shank taking a lot of damage there, and just showing that the positioning from DarkSided has been a little bit off. We saw earlier with Agony being a bit out of position in the duo lane, as well as Shank now being a little out of position in the solo lane. And despite it not ending up in kills, it's still worrying to see that, and definitely something that DarkSided is going to have to improve on as this game progresses.
Yeah, I mean, as Osiris, I don't mind the Osiris being pushed up a bit more, being a little bit less safe, I guess. Being a little bit tankier. They're willing to throw a lot of damage into him, and DarkSided are able to rotate over and pick up kills as a result. I don't mind that. When it's Agony on this Hu Yi, it's going to be really rough for DarkSided. If that Hu Yi falls, or they're forced to use as many actives as they were last time to get him out, it costs them so much map pressure, and MingusMinions obviously able to use that to their advantage. They managed to pick up the Gold Fury as a result of it directly afterwards. They're now looking to posture up over this Portal Demon as well. You can't give them any space. These are experienced players that know what they're doing and are making really strong and aggressive calls.
Yeah, and just I've been noticing how well this Geb is synergizing with the Warriors here. Not only are this double Warrior pick so tanky, but then you just throw a Geb shield on top of it and it makes them almost unstoppable, as we see Portal Demon already on half health here, but they decide to drop it straight away for ToriSkys to blink right in with a huge ultimate coming out onto the beast there, and Beast falls down here for Envisionize, but Yada does respond by picking up Mingyu, a very important kill here, as we see Envisionize taking a lot of damage, but he has that Geb shield, which keeps him alive and safe, and now they go and pick up Shank, who does not have a Geb shield, and that just means he's going to take more damage, obviously, as we see KO just putting out a bit more pressure here, and Bird forming to make sure he does not fall.
That'll be a portal demon here for free for MingusMinions. Unless Yada is able to get in here, you might be able to get some decent poke off, but ToriSkys will make sure he can't get in there and do any real damage to the portal demon. And they actually managed to pick him up. KO gets credit with the kill there. Yada feeling the wrath of the W.
Feeling the wrath of the tiger. Or the eye of the tiger, whatever pun you would like to make there, despite all of that, just showing how powerful Sun Wukong is right now. A lot of people underestimate that transformations. It's not just a movement ability, it's also CC, and it's also damage. It's just so incredible. You can even max it out a little earlier on, maybe put a few points into the cudgels. We see Fire Giant getting put out here. You can actually max that 3 as well in certain situations, as Envisionize just blowing up Liquid Renegade and securing that Fire Giant for his team.
Yeah, on a rampage now, and MingusMinions looking to really press this advantage. They'll probably try and get most of the rest of the towers off the map, maybe even a Phoenix if they're able to. You said you can max that 3. KO actually opting to max all of his 1, 2, and 3, the Cudgel, the Master's Will, and the 72 transformations over his ult. He's point skipped. He's only got the 1 point into his ult. Not really looking to use it for sustain, but looking to put out as much consistent damage as he can with this heavy cooldown build that he's going for.
Yeah, and with that cooldown, it synergizes well with that. I mean, Sun Wukong's ultimate does not really require, you know, spending points into it, so it is the obvious choice here for KO and exactly what he's gone for, as they decide to siege up this tier 2 in the left lane.
Yeah, it should fall reasonably easily here, and it does. They'll look to maybe... it melted, alright. You're right. They'll go for the mid tier 2 as well, then probably look for the Gold Fury, I would say, as it's about to respawn as well.
Do they even need that Gold Fury, or are they just going to go for kills, as we see Liquid Renegade throwing out a huge ultimate there on the Bellona, but Shred just shredding with his own ultimate as Mingyu picks up Liquid Renegade thanks to the help of his team, and now Agony forced to Beats and Aegis here to try and escape this fight here. Middle lane tower falls down. There's only one left apart from the Phoenixes, but now they do as you mentioned and go right for that Gold Fury.
Yeah, it's not so much that they need the Gold Fury, although they still do have some items they can pick up. It's 21 minutes in, so despite this early Fire Giant that they pick up the Gold Fury as well. They'll finish off their items. We actually saw Mingyu went into the Poison Star. Now he finishes off the Wind Demon as well. So that crit chance now up to 40%. Not to mention he'll also get that attack speed and movement speed increase for every crit now, thanks to that Wind Demon passive on top of it. So he's just going to be able to really walk people down and be able to provide a lot of burst damage out of that Hunter role, not just through his abilities, but also through his basic attacks. Yeah,
so much attack speed and crit, and not so much penetration, but attack speed and crit coming out from this build. All he needs now is a little bit of penetration, and he's really, really going to be shredding his enemy, but there might not even be time for that, as we see MingusMinions pushing down so many of these objectives, and now they're heading straight to the tier 2 solo lane tower.
Yeah, they'll pick up this tower. I can't see DarkSided able to respond, especially with Agony and Liquid Renegade on the other side of the map. Gonna have to get over here as quickly as they can. They immediately look to back off towards the Phoenix. As just a quick pause. Looks like we'll come straight out of it for now.
Might have been an accidental button press here, but it is no accidental button press to kill that tower there, falling absolutely within 1 second. That tower falls as we see them now deciding to siege up this Phoenix as well. ToriSkys looking for a potential blink. Doesn't quite find it yet, but Envisionize in a bit of trouble. But now ToriSkys finds the perfect blink to set up so many kills for his teammates, making sure both his teammates survive, and he kills the enemy as well, as we see now the Beast just trying to use that silence to zone away MingusMinions, but the minions are coming, and they're coming strong as we see them pick up 2 more kills. KO picking those kills for himself, and now this Phoenix looking to fall as well.
Yeah, the Phoenix should go down here. Liquid doing his best to try and keep it up for as long as possible. Eats the impale and falls down to Mingyu. Those crits really coming in handy there. So Liquid Renegade falls, and they might just look to end here.
Might look, and they will attempt to end here, and it looks like they don't really have anything that can test. We see Agony coming in here with the ultimate, actually managing to zone away Mingyu's minions. So an excellent ultimate coming out from Agony, just securing their life for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's almost a matter of when now, though. They're so far behind. If we have a quick look at the graphs now, it's now 17,000 in experience and 16,500 in gold. This is one big pit, and it's going to be so hard for DarkSided to crawl out of it.
Yeah, it's almost, the pit is dark-sided.
Well done, well done. Portal to even started up playing Vision Eyes now, moving right along. So much penetration on this Raven build. Just being able to be so far ahead has allowed him to be really greedy with this build. Only the real protections coming out of Mass Immune, as well as his inherent tankiness as a warrior. So showing how much damage a Raven can do is... If we actually have a quick look at the player damage, let's have a look at the player damage. So
let's do it.
Sun Wukong, 17,000, followed by the Soul with 15, and then you've got Yada being the shining light of DarkSided, doing his best to try and keep his team in this, but he's able to get one pick, but falls immediately as a result of it, and it's just not enough at this point, unfortunately. And you can see Agony so much further down on those damage charts, not really able to have much of an impact. He hasn't even managed to finish off his chin sides yet, so it's going to be, he does finish it right now, but the Fire Giant falls in the meantime.
Yeah, chin slice is not really the spike you're looking for at this point in the game, as we just see the pillar absolutely blocking the beast. I mean, take that, Ganesh. Others have pillars too, as we see Anha picking up a double kill here, and it looks like Mingyu's minions are going to end this game. Yeah, that should be game. I can't see the three of DarkSided able to defend, let alone get in here and really do much. They're doing a valiant effort here, but Mingyu's just shredding, and speaking of shredding, Agony falls to him now as well, looking to dive at the fountain, get some more kills when they can, and GG's, Mingyu's minions take this game against DarkSided. And yeah, I mean, overall, it was really, really just a strong showing from all of Mingyu's minions, especially Mingyu himself, just showing the pressure that an ADC can have with these new build options, 7, 1, and 4, with the Poison Star build coming out from Mingyu. An excellent match to watch, but unfortunately the only match we have time for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in, and we will see you all next time.